Hello and warm welcome to Sarat Chandra IAS Academy, where your dreams are our mission. This is Yatharth here. So today we are going to discuss about geography and IR. And please remember, from this portion, the China-Taiwan tensions or the China-Japan tensions, basically the geographical region known as the South China Sea. Questions have already come, PYQs, about the Senkaku Islands. Question came in 2022. But the Kuril Island question also came in CSE prelims in 22 or 23. Alright, so this area is very important, the South China Sea, and various islands here, whether they are Paracel, whether they are Spratly, all are very, very important. Alright, so right now in this lecture, we'll be talking majorly about the China and Taiwan. So China and Taiwan, they share a very contentious history. Alright, and the Taiwan government was earlier ruling party in the China that had to escape and establish a different rule in the Taiwan. Alright, so you can read this in the world history part. That's a separate topic. Right now, we'll just read about the China-Taiwan tensions here. So tensions are escalating in the waters near Taiwan as China intensifies patrols around a group of islands controlled by Taiwan. Now, what the issue is that these islands are controlled by Taiwan but are located quite close to China and are also a major tourist spot. So China's Coast Guard, specifically its Fujian Division, announced on Sunday, so it is irrelevant, that it would enhance maritime law enforcement and conduct regular patrols in the water around Xiamen, China and Taiwan's Kinmen Island. So we are talking about the Kinmen Island here majorly. So please remember the name. Whenever the question has come in PYQ, always the name of the island has been mentioned, whether it was Senkaku or Kuril or Paracel or Spratly or any other. Alright, so please remember the island name is Kinmen Island. Okay, over the past 3 years, Taiwan's Coast Guard have reportedly rescued 20 individuals from mainland China. China has been applying economic, military and diplomatic pressure on Taiwan and has severed most communication with Taipei since the Democratic Progressive Party came to power in 2016. Taipei is the capital of Taiwan. Alright. And also please remember Taiwan is a major hub for the Western investment, whether it is USA or any Western democracy. There are multiple products that come from Taiwan and are exported from it, and it has gotten nice Western support behind it. Alright, let's see here. So what we see, this is the mainland China. Just a second, I'll change the pen color here. Just a second. Alright, so what we see here, this is the mainland China. And the island that we are talking about is Kinmen Island. So it's located quite close to China. Alright, and Taiwan is this. This is Taipei, the capital of the Taiwan. Alright, so geographical distance is a lot between the Taiwan and this Kinmen Island, but they are administered by Taiwan. Alright, so now we see this is one issue. Okay, now here they have been basically enlarged. So it's not the real scale, but you can just see that Kinmen Island are divided into two parts, Little Kinmen and Kinmen, and there are further multiple islands like Xiamen, Suangzhou, alright, Shizing Port, and they are located rather close to China, alright, and far away from the Taiwan, where Taipei is here. Okay, so just remember about this Kinmen Island. They are controlled by Taiwan and they belong to Taiwan. Also remember the name of this Dadan Island. Okay, we also read in another lecture, very recent lecture, about some island in the Sri Lanka near the Jaffna province. So there was Delft Islands. So please remember the name of these islands, alright? They are very, very important. Okay, now let's see the next news, which is about ISRO's latest launch. And there was a news recently that it is called the Naughty Boy. So we need to see that why this GSLV rocket is known as the Naughty Boy. So the Indian Research Organization, ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO, recently launched a new generation meteorological satellite. Okay, this satellite, whether the EOS satellite, or like EOS 6, these are a series of the meteorological satellite, but this one was INSAT 3DS, meant to carry out enhanced monitoring on the Earth's surface, atmosphere, oceans and environment. INSAT 3DS will augment means to make better. Whenever we use the word augment, You can also use it in answer writing. It will mean make better or help. The capabilities of the existing two meteorological satellites INSAT 3D and INSAT 3D are and boost India's weather and climate prediction services, early warnings and disaster management services. So you know now where to use it. Alright, this is used in the science and tech portion, and the capabilities are used in the disaster management and meteorological assessment as well as warnings. So this had been launched by the GSLV rocket. GSLV rocket. But the GSLV rocket is named as the naughty boy. Now, why it is named as the naughty boy? This can be an interview question for you. Alright, so the INSAT 3DS satellite rode on the GSLV F-14 rocket to reach its intended geostationary orbit. Alright, this is geostationary orbit. Please remember and read about this topic, that what are geostationary orbits. So it's one of the three main rockets used by ISRO for carrying its satellite. The other two are PSLV and LVM3. Earlier it was known as GSLV Mark III. GSLV has had a rather patchy track record thus far because being described as a naughty boy because it has failed multiple times. Alright, so why did it fail? Alright, why it is known as the naughty boy? So we need to see first thing that we see the statistics. So GSLV had flown 15 times before this, and 4 of these had been unsuccessful. So that's a drastic rate of failure, 4 upon 15. Alright, a very high failure rate for any rocket. Its most recent failure was in August 2021 when it was wanting or intending to carry a satellite US-03 into space. Alright. We need to see other thing. The GSLV is more powerful rocket than PSLV and carry much heavier satellites. It carries more than 2200 kgs to geostationary orbits. Again, I am telling you that you please read about the geostationary orbits, and over 6000 kg to the lower Earth orbits. Alright. So what we see, the problems have been mainly with the cryogenic engine. Alright, and one more thing, that it has come from Russia, and Russia was unable to completely transfer the technology to us. We had to just reverse engineer some of the engines that they had given. So we'll see the reason for that. So the powers of the third and final stage of the flight, it just remember it used the cryogenic engine. So it is the science leading to the behavior of material as a very low temperature. It uses almost a liquid fuel. So it uses liquid hydrogen as the main fuel. Alright, so cryo means low temperature, and at low temperature all gases become liquid. Alright, there is an equation PV is equal to nRT. Alright, so when temperature decreases and pressure increases, then volume also, you can just figure out the relation, that volume will also decrease here. Alright, so when temperature is decreasing, the pressure of the gas is more than pressure of liquid, so volume also, gas is more than liquid, so it basically becomes a liquid. Alright, so it uses the liquid hydrogen for its fuel, main fuel, and nearly 250 degrees Celsius below zero, so minus 250 degrees Celsius. Alright, just a second. And oxygen is in liquid state at about 90 degrees Celsius below zero, but it uses what? Liquid hydrogen, not oxygen, please remember. Okay, so GSLV uses a cryogenic engine that is reversed engineered on a Russian design. So why did this happen? So the deal between the ISRO and the Russia happened in 1980s, but it came under pressure from the US, which claimed that it violated provision of MTCR, that is Missile Technology Control Regime, an international legal framework meant to stop the proliferation of missile technology. So the deal was called off, and Russia did supply few of these cryogenic engines, but could not transfer the technology. Alright. And now we need to see lastly that what is about the indigenous cryogenic technology. What is India doing? So India has managed to develop its own cryogenic engine as well as a result of decades of research, etc. And the design is entirely Indian, developed within ISRO, and uses a different process to burn the fuel. It is closer to the designs of the Ariane rockets that were used by the ISRO till a few years ago to launch its heavier satellites. This indigenously developed cryogenic engine is developed in LVM3, ISRO's most powerful rocket so far. So please remember LVM3. So it has 7 flights till now without any trouble. Okay, and it was used to carry Chandrayaan 2 and Chandrayaan 3 missions. Not surprisingly, has much better grip on this homegrown technology. Alright, the successful launch has put away the question mark on GSLV rocket for the time being, but a more crucial test awaits in few weeks time when it gets ready to carry the NISAR. Okay, so NISAR will be the next satellite, which will be NASA ISRO synthetic aperture radar satellite. So it's the first of its kind collaboration between ISRO and NASA, and it would be the most prestigious mission for the GSLV so far. Alright. So here you can see a quick comparison, which is SLV, then ASLV, PSLV, GSLV Mark III and LVM. This is LBM Mark 3. This is the best rocket the NASA had. It also uses the cryogenic engine but uses a different process, and the GSLV will be further used to carry the Nisar. Alright, this was used to carry the Chandrayaan 2 and 3. So just read about all these, especially PSLV, GSLV and GSLV Mark 3.